Assalamu alaikum. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness there is no God but Allah, who came to us in the persons of Master Fard Muhammad. And I bear witness that the most honorable Elijah Muhammad is indeed thine exalted Christ. And I furthermore indeed bear witness that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is our divine reminder, leader, teacher, and guide. I greet you all in the nation greeted words of peace. We say it in the Arabic language. Assalamu alaikum. On behalf of Brother Albert Muhammad and the Let Us Make Man family, as always family, we thank you. We thank you for taking your time to watch our videos, read our posts, support our cause, our efforts in the plight of the black community. We can never thank you enough. I just want to take a few moments of your time. As always, family, we do our very best not to take up much of your time rambling on and, just, going on and on with something that could be real simplistic, like this particular session. A message to Paul Congemi, a candidate for mayor in St. Petersburg, Florida. After watching the video and the statements that were made in regards to black people have already received their reparations, and a man pertaining to Barack Obama, as well as if we're not satisfied or if we don't like what's going on in America, go back to Africa. This is interesting. What makes this interesting is a number of different things with this particular statement in light to what actually drew that out of this individual. White people are making it clear as day, and they're more bodacious now than they ever been. And what they're doing is using political offices and power to dominate us as a people, right? My message to Paul Congemi: America is ours. You could take it and let it alone. See, what happens, family, these naive politicians or individuals, put it that way first, because actually he's bidding for a seat in the preliminary. So he's trying to get his name nominated as a forerunner for the office itself, mayor, St. Petersburg. So during this meeting, as he was basically going backwards and forth against the candidate that he was up against, members of the black community expressed their concerns about what they wanted to see take place. And in light of saying that, they stressed the point of how that the city of St. Petersburg should provide them with recreational centers that would be somewhat a form of reparations. So in light of doing that, Walaikum salam, dear Sister Samantha. All praises due to Allah. Thank you for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it, family. In light of going to these crackers or these Caucasians and appealing for them to do for us what we can do for ourselves. This is why white people who are not even literally politicians, they're biting for positions so that they can control our environment among them. So if he gets nominated in the preliminaries, then he has an opportunity to run for mayor. Now, he knew exactly what he was doing. This is how you wind up with the president that you have today. See, there's something that we as a people got to learn from things like this. Take our emotions out of it. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us, study white people. The wise of them make no excuses for their mistakes. They learn and capitalize off of it. So when he made the statement that he made in regards to going back to Africa, he knew that it would propel his opportunity to win in the primaries and the preliminaries. And that's exactly what happened. So we oftentimes, basically, family, put these people in positions of authority over us. See? By feeding into their ignorance and naiveness. See? Babylon the Great is fallen. America is fallen. America is literally no good overall. But God said that he will raise from among the wicked the righteous, you and I, to take over the land and settle on the best part. See? Take a look at this individual. And I'm not going to use baby language. Baby language is immature language when you start name calling and throwing dirt and all this other stuff. This is the stuff that allows them to propel. Let's take what he said and turn it around against them. But how do you do that, brother? It's simple. Set up your own society. Separate. Render unto Caesar what is Caesar's. Why would you go and continue to beg white people to do for you what you can do for yourself? Recreational centers is nothing for the black man and the black woman to set up in their own community. Well, how is that, Brother Albert? It's as easy as you spending $400 billion in 2016 on Christmas gifts, Thanksgiving celebrations, 4th of July celebrations, all these celebrations that you invest your monies in. See? You can actually do a 360. Take that money that you are giving to them, preserve it to do for self. Then setting up a recreational center would be nothing for us to do. See, even Dr. King knew that the biggest mistake that he made, right, was when he called for black men and white men to come together versus separation. And by the time he realized that, it was too late. And as soon as Dr. King told the Kennedys that he was coming to Washington to collect the check that they owed black people, he was dead less than 2 to 3 weeks later, give or take. See, take a look at St. Petersburg, a beautiful city. Florida, a beautiful state. Huh? Do we have any idea of who our local governor are, our local lieutenant governor in the states that we live in? Do we have any idea who sits on the council? Trying to make a point. See, this cracker is vibing for the seat of the mayor in the city, so that he can make things much more difficult for blacks in St. Petersburg. They already catching hell, not only in St. Petersburg, all over the United States. Black people are catching hell because we are gullible people and we hate to face reality. Why do we keep going to white people, begging them to do for us what we can do for ourselves? If God said to man, your punishment is to till the land, that means you have to do for yourself. See? So it's easy to make mockery of us. These people are no longer professionals, but they hold the seats with the power. The seats that allow them to make decisions. Your governor, lieutenant governor, your mayor, your city council, your chief of police, your judges, your prosecutors. Y'all really want to beat these people. I said it in the last video. Huh? We can beat them hands down, and we don't have to pick up a gun at all. All we have to do is separate in the mind, then in the body. Segregation was the best thing that could have happened to black people, especially during the time when segregation was in motion. See, because segregation worked wonderfully. Blacks on this side, whites on that side. If you was caught on the white folks' side, whatever happened to you, it is what it is. If they were caught on the black folks' side, whatever happened to them, it is what it is. But 85% of black people in 2017 will fight against segregation because they love white people. Why does he like the devil? Because the devil gives him nothing. Why do we like white people so much that we continue to put them in office? That all them Negroes that buck dance and bow down and tap dance for Donald Trump to become president of the United States. I'm talking about pastors, you name them, members of Congress, and so on and so on and so on. The NAACP is about to celebrate. Donald Trump turned them down. I don't have time for these Negroes, but I'll allow the White House to talk to you. Y'all not understanding where I'm coming from. So, the candidate that's running vibing trying to get the seat of mayor in St. Petersburg will only get it as long as we feed into it. You couldn't tell me to go back to Africa because I'm not from Africa. I was born and raised in Paterson, New Jersey. That's just the bottom line. And if I went to Africa, I probably really wouldn't know what to do when I got there. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us that there's no need for us to go back to Africa. Force America to separate and give us X amount of states with fertile land and 25 years of supply that we can build our own. But she's not going to do that because America is already facing her doom. It wasn't no mysteries when America was going to war with Japan. They arrest the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Why? I'm going to tell y'all something that many of you may not even be aware of. Why did they arrest the Honorable Elijah Muhammad when America was going to war with Japan? See, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad had established friendship with the Japanese. He met with the Japanese on a number of different occasions. So the government knew it was dangerous to allow Elijah Muhammad to stay on the streets at that time with what he was teaching, separation. Then he had the relationship that he had with the Japanese. I'm trying to tell you something. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has traveled the world. For what? Not to be seen amongst men, but to make friends for us. So if we separate, we have friends that will do international trading with us. We can buy direct internationally. Our money is green. They're not going to turn us down. They met our big brother, our friend, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Black people, wake up, man. Stop going to these crackers begging them for something that you can do for yourself. This is why you are able to be disrespected in a public meeting like that by a bullhead cracker telling somebody to go back to Africa only because he knew he was going to get a response from it. But if it would have been silent, then he wouldn't have knew which way to go. See? There's not one Caucasian in America that is full-blown American. Majority of the Caucasians that live in America came through the great migration of Europe back in the late 20s and the early 30s. They had migrated from Ireland. They migrated from Italy. They migrated from France. They migrated from all over Europe. And now got the nerve, because their great-grandchildren are in positions of power, got the nerve to call themselves an American. See? There's no such thing as an American. See? It's a corporation. America is a corporation. And the United States, which consists of 50 states, right, is a part of the corporation. So they do business within each state. These white people are not that intelligent, family. They just manipulate our emotions. See? So when I listen to the individual, I don't really want to say his name, in Florida, running for mayor. See? Congemi. See? Check his history. He's a bum. I'm not being sarcastic. Do the research. He's not even worthy to be a mayor. But hell, we'll put anybody in the mayor's position. Then don't hold them accountable. Don't be a sucker for love for somebody black. Haven't you learned from that? The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said on many different occasions, color don't matter. What matters is the agenda. What is on the agenda? We have to present our agenda and raise up those from among us who has our agenda at hand, right? To work for us. Not us begging them, but them working for us. So I thought it was very interesting watching the video and listening to the statements as he emphasized, go back to Africa. Go back to Africa. Because he knew that he would manipulate the emotions of the individuals that was sitting in that meeting. And God knows how many might have jumped up and just went berserk, as opposed to just staying humble and really realize that that was a trump card that he threw out to gain the recognition for his name for the citizens that live in the city of St. Petersburg in Florida. St. Petersburg is a beautiful city. I had the chance to visit it. White people are only in power because we allow it. We waste too much time begging for something that we can do ourselves. We can't continue to select people to represent us. How that saying go? Taxation without representation is wrong, or something to that effect. They take your money irregardless. You don't have no say so. Right? Every week, faithfully, they call it federal, state, city, income tax. But you ride down the street in your local community and your car is all tore up because your streets is tore up, because you got the wrong people sitting downtown representing you. And then most of us, when we go to the city council meetings and speak, we're not confident. And we really don't do our research. These people work for us. We don't work for them. We pay taxes, they take our taxes. Because they know if they didn't take it, they wouldn't get it. The same taxes that we paying black people in America, as the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has taught us, should never pay taxes. But you say that nowadays to the average black person, they're going to go off on you. Because they've been brainwashed for so long that they feel obligated to pay taxes. The only reason why I pay taxes, because they take it. If they didn't take it, they definitely wouldn't get it. There's no need for me to pay taxes. I'm not benefiting off it. I don't sit around at the end of the year waiting to get a check for $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $7,000, turn around and give it right back. I've never lived like that in all my days of living thus far. See, we allow these people to gain the positions that they gain, the mayor. And just recently, the black officer that shot the white girl, killed her, because she called in 911 and she was trying to assist someone else. As she approached her car, the officer reached over his partner and shot her, cold-blooded. And it went so far, I'm trying to show you how white people, when they unify, they're unbeatable. That incident went all the way to Australia. Right? And the government of Australia is questioning the government of the United States. They want results. Is her death any more important than the death of Sandra Bland? Come to find out, before Sandra Bland even made it to the jail, she was beat over the head in the car while the cameras was turned off. She suffered from a concussion by the time she got to the jail. Huh? Is her death any more important than Tamir Rice, 13 years old, shot cold-blooded, not even realizing what was going on when he saw the police, didn't even get a chance to speak? Officer walked free. We didn't hear nothing from the mayors of these cities. They didn't come out and did what the mayor of Missouri, or the state that this incident took place in, did. She spoke out and said she want answers. Do you understand what we're dealing with? Our disunity among each other, our dissatisfaction and self-hatred is the reason why we are being served the injustices that we are being served. See? And when they investigated the officer that shot this white girl, listen to what they said. Officer so-and-so, I want to say it the way they said it. In other words, Officer so-and-so, a Sudanian American. He was from the Sudans, I believe, but he was from Africa. But they made it clear. Did they tell you what country any one of these officers or their family was from that killed our people? But they give the families of our people their blood money in reparations for taking their family members' lives, and we settle for that. So this is why this cracker can sit in a form like that and speak the way he speaks. See, the slaves that was brought from Africa to America, they didn't ask to come here. Right? And they're no longer here to go back. We are their descendants. So by right, we should be fighting to take over every nook and cranny of this land. We owe that to them. Not to continue to lay down to the great-grandchildren of the slave masters and the kidnappers of the slaves that was captured and brought to these grounds unwillingly and suffered the most inhumane atrocities that any human being on the planet can suffer. And they endured it so you and I can survive to tell their story. Take this land that is rightfully ours now. We helped build it. If not build it, before they allow other immigrants to start migrating into the country and building. We did it. We tilled the cotton fields in the South, the tobacco fields in the South. Set these crackers straight. But we gotta stop. And to the people that was in that meeting, I'm talking to the black people that was in that meeting, we gotta stop going down there and begging these crackers for what we can do for ourselves. Put your Jordan money back in your pocket. Put all your unnecessary spendings back in your pocket and do like they do. Preserve for their future generations. See? There it is. See? So there's no need for us to argue about whether what the man said was right or wrong. We know he don't got any sense at all. He knows nothing about history. He just playing on the emotion of the people that he can gain the seat that he vibing for, and he might win. Be not surprised. Donald Trump won. He played that race card to the letter and that immigration card to the letter. And Donald Trump won. And now everybody that voted for Donald Trump, including the white people, are suffering like hell. And they love to keep Obama's name in their mouth. A man that did 8 years in the office. Gone now. But everything them crackers do, they use Obama. This is how racist and how bigot they really are. So Dr. King said, I had a dream. One day, little black boys and little white boys and little black girls and little white girls will join hands and come together. But do you realize that Dr. King said it was a dream? It was not a reality. It will never be a reality, family. So let's just wake up. Or you can look at your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren and know for a surety that you're going to die off somewhere in this country and leave them with the same fight and nothing at all. But get up and go to work. And be good while you're there. So to Paul Congemi in St. Petersburg, Florida, that was a skillful tactic that you used. It did propel your name on the ballot. Will it be enough for you to win? Who knows? Come November the 7th, when the voters start going out, they'll know then. And white people outnumber black people, by the way, statistically speaking, in America. So you can get all the Negroes together you want and go out and vote. But if all the white people come together and go out and vote, he'll win the popular vote. But what he won't win is our ability to unite and come together and separate. Build our own schools. We can teach our children. There's nothing wrong with us. There's nothing wrong with us. The only thing we have to do is believe in ourselves and get away from all these psychological ideologies that's got us screwed up, got us hoodwinked, bamboozled, shook up. Half the time we don't know if we coming or going. And every time you turn around, another issue arises. And white people are ahead of us. So, does this individual stand a chance to win? Absolutely. His chances are even greater now that he made the move that he made, because he knew it was a trump card and a power move. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if we want to beat these crackers, we got to really start using our head. Close our mouths. Stop all the picketing, the rioting, and all that other stuff. What fear white people the most, especially those in the power, is when they can't figure out who you are and where you at and what you're doing. Once they have to go through that, is when they really become shook up, because they can't figure you out. But as long as they can figure you out and they know what you're doing, because either we're going to post it on Facebook or Instagram how mad we is. And they just capitalize off it. See? This is how they win political seats and become mayors, councilmen, sheriff officers, deputy sheriffs, police officers. What's wrong with being a police officer? Absolutely nothing. The problem is we don't understand it. See, these little white boys and white girls will take that job because it gives them a sense of power over us, particularly. They get super white when they come in the black community. So we refrain, if we do a 360 and begin to teach our children the importance of securing our community and raising these individuals among us that knows us, that lives with us, and that's willing to protect us, then we have no need for a white mayor. And we damn sure don't have need for a black mayor with a white mind. See? Separation is our only option. It is the best option. Segregation. I promote segregation 100%. Render unto Caesar what is Caesar's. Give white people what belongs to them. Let's come out of their communities. In Georgia and some of the cities and the states of the South, black people live good. Beautiful home and properties, well kept. In some of the black communities in the poor neighborhoods, black people live good, well kept. Separation is our best option. I promote segregation. And let's stop fussing with white people. And for all the blacks that want to come at us with this, reverse psychology, separate yourself from them as well. Because once you realize that they are literally not with the movement, then there's no sense to waste of time and continue keeping bad company. Because to me, it's bad company. I don't need your excuses. I don't need to hear the sorrow. I don't need the drama. We need to move forward, that we can run these people from amongst us. And when I say these people, I'm talking about anybody. I don't care what your color is, that does not have our best interests at heart or at hand or up front. We have no need for them. I don't know if what I'm saying making sense to you or not, family. But you have the option to at least hear your little brother out. And go back and watch the interview or the tape of this individual as he's talking about going back to Africa. That's their favorite line. Go back. I'm not from Africa. That's that. There's no need for me to. My descendants and my ancestors are from Africa. But I'm not from Africa. I was born in America. So I want to cut out a piece of the pie for our people, as we are taught. Look up the 3-year economical blueprint by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, as taught today by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Look it up. The economical blueprint of the Nation of Islam, ultimately for black people of this country. It's an investment. It hadn't died off. And I don't know no other black organization that has presented an economical blueprint that will separate us from our open enemies and segregate us, that we can live our own lives in a piece of this land that we could call our own. I thank you so much for taking your time, family, hearing your little brother out on this portion of this session. I didn't really want to take too much time with it because it really doesn't need that much time at all. I mean, it's just, what caught my attention is our people. We're constantly victimized by the same naiveness as white people utilize our ignorance to benefit off of it and become mayors and political elites. Some of these councilmen And mayors that you see today will be sitting in D.C. one day as congressmen, as senator. And they will be making the decisions for you like the ones that's sitting in D.C. now, who at one point was either a council person or a mayor or some sort of figure in the community that ran around with a lot of mouth and everybody paid attention to him. And you got so much of that going on today. Protect your own and be yourself. We don't need to appeal to white people to give us no recreation centers. And by the way, reparations is not something that they can give us. It's something we have to take. It's rightfully due to us. We have to become more strategic and put plans together in motion. But our biggest problem is going to be the same problem Harriet Tubman had and anyone that came before her or after her, trying to do the exact same thing, separate. Because you're going to have the Negroes sit amongst you and they're going to go back and report everything that you discuss. So we have some work on our hand, but we don't give up. Anything is possible and we can achieve this goal. So I want to thank you once again, family, for taking your few minutes, giving us a few minutes of your time on this session here. America is ours for the taking, right? Hands down, because she's on her way out. But that doesn't mean that we got to go out with her. Because the people that America got problems with don't have problems with us. They have problems with the government. When Vietnam War was going on, they didn't kill as many black soldiers as they were killing the white ones. That's a fact. Because they really didn't have a problem with us personally. Their problem is with the wicked minds in this government that sit in the senator's seat, the congressman's seat, and all these other political figures that run around and just keep up stuff. That's where their problem is at. We will survive the war, Armageddon, and the fall of America. Thank you for listening. I leave you as I came before you. In the nation, greet the words of peace and paradise. Assalamu alaikum. Hotep, peace.